What's up, YouTube? Angry Jackalope Rob Ricks. I'm back. What's up, guys? Let's see. We got the Jackalope. We got Blake. We got Corley. We got Garen. Howdy, howdy, howdy. How y'all doing? This is kind of weird. Yeah. You might notice there's some changes here. And let's see here. Stream. That's weird. Okay, you know what? I can't trust this fucking chat thing right here because it's not. I see what the fuck is happening right on the actual stream, but I don't see it on that. So let me go over here, bring this up. Yeah, that's weird. Look at that shit. What the fuck? I see what the fuck is happening, but I don't see it in the other shit. What the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get it. What in the hell's going on here? Bloody hell. Fucking shit. Anyway. Alright, let me go ahead and minimize this other stuff. I actually have a fucking show planned, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I don't see if any of you guys are old enough to remember that shit. Let's see here. Alright. The coral cattle. No. I don't believe I have, Garen. What's up, Backwoods? So yeah, so I'm using the Streamlabs OBS as my stream deal here, and it's kind of cool because now at a glance I could see we got 10 viewers, so I don't have to have the other stuff up. It's kind of weird. Oh, Castle. Oh, Coral Castle. Yes, I think I have heard of that. Is that the one where the dude made all kinds of crazy sculptures and stuff, and nobody knew how he did it? He did it out of like the stones and stuff like that. I think that's the one. I can't remember where it's at. I think it's like, I want to say the shit's like in Florida or something. Like he died and he left behind purportedly a book with the secrets on how to manipulate stuff like that. Yeah. Yep, I know that one. I came across that in my travels. Indeed I did. Indeed I did. So I sound distorted, huh? Okay. Let me make a couple adjustments here. So there are some plugins, and I didn't think that it would be too bad, but maybe it is. Let's do... How about we do this? Turn off the noise suppression. I'm going to leave the noise gate on, though, because that keeps it from clipping. Turn this off and turn this off. Alright, that should make... Ooh, wow. Wow, hang on. That was a little loud. Okay, how about that? Oh, that's still loud. How about that? Is that better? That doesn't have any plugins now. So basically all of the plugins to prevent it from clipping and all that other shit is gone now. How's that? Is that better? I'll give you guys a second to answer that one right there. Okay. Okay, good. Alright. Yeah, I was trying to use some of these fancy smancy plugins and shit, and I just ran out of time to actually test them out and everything. So, okay, that's good. Fuck it. We'll just run unfiltered, which is appropriate for the fucking show anyway, right? Fuck it. Boom. There we go. Alright, I'm back. Sounds like I'm yelling through a microphone. Right now, it sounds like I'm yelling through a megaphone. Hey, Steve, what's up, brother? So hopefully everything's good now, because I mean, I turned off all the other shit, you know. I turned them all off now. Whoa, okay, we got a lot of stuff happening here. Okay, I'm just gonna tear through a few things since we are just a bit better. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, sore man. Sorry you are sore. So that was from hey, what's up, Viking? So Steve, I assume you're sore because of the leg problem that you went in to get checked out over. So in relation to that, I came across an article that says nearly 30% of opioid prescriptions lacked any kind of documented pain diagnosis. So you had a lot of doctors giving out opioids and stuff like that to patients that weren't complaining of pain. Oh, okay, so you're still in the hospital. Yeah, so this is totally relatable to the hospitals and stuff. So it says nearly 30% of U.S. patients prescribed opioids by doctors over a period spanning a decade were not documented suffering from pain, according to a letter published by the Annals of Internal Medicine. Not the annals, but the Annals of Internal Medicine. The study analyzed 31,943 visits between 2006 and 2015 and resulted in opioid prescriptions for patients over 18 years old as part of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Annual National Ambulatory Medical Care Survey. 2/3 of the patients received opioids to treat pain diagnosed by a doctor. 5% received opioids for pain linked to cancer. And the outstanding 28.5% of visits had no recorded pain diagnosis. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, I would imagine there'd be certain pain that it would not touch the pain. A lot of the painkillers, at least with my experience, don't really take the pain away. They just make you so fucking stoned that you don't actually give a shit about the pain. But yeah, Backwards is right. It's big business, man. These motherfuckers, they're like drug pushers. They really fucking are. So there was a article I came across today. It says days of Facebook are over. So if you guys are not aware, Facebook got hacked. Well, I guess hacked is not correct. Facebook said Friday it discovered a security breach that affects nearly 50 million user accounts. The issue was found by its engineering team on Tuesday afternoon. We're taking this incredibly seriously and wanted to let everyone know what's happened and the immediate action we've taken to protect people's security, the company said in a statement. The company said hackers exploited a View As feature on the service. Facebook says it's taken steps to fix the security problem and alerted law enforcement. Oh yeah, you know, it's just... Oh yeah. Yeah, the chat is green because... this one is imported with the Streamlabs OBS, and what was neat about it was it shows it on the dashboard over there too, as well as me popping this window on the side. But what's crazy about it is some of the things are showing up on the chat, that green chat, that's not showing up on either one of the dashboard or the pop-out. So remember last week some people were complaining that they were typing shit like fuck or whatever and it wasn't showing up. Well, this one for whatever reason is showing it up, but on the other side it wasn't. You know what I mean? It's really crazy. Yeah, well, that guy Vape was doing I think you're talking about the doc that ended up killing Michael Jackson, right? He was giving out a bunch of crazy like sleeping aids and stuff like that normally you use when you get knocked the fuck out, you know. Magic says I'm prescribed Subox 1 for my fibromyalgia pain. It blocks 98% of my back pain. Yeah, my pain med that I'm taking, and it's actually kind of a weird one. It's called gabapentin, and it's also used for mood altering. But it does a pretty good job on suppressing the pain signal. So that one actually pretty good. In fact, I forgot to take mine at 3:30. I'll take it later. Anyway. And what was funny is Google had tutorials on hacking Facebook. It had a step-by-step video guide that, as of that article, could still be accessed on YouTube. Google's popular video streaming website hours after Facebook revealed the breach. So, you know, they're talking all this shit, but I mean, really, those holes and stuff are there for a reason, to allow certain government agencies access to Facebook behind the scene. And it was only after it kind of got leaked out that motherfuckers were using it on YouTube that motherfuckers started making it sound like, oh, we're making steps to block this shit. Yeah, right. Fuck off. You guys are full of shit. Indonesia had a fucking crazy, yeah, you know, Zuckerberg was butt pirated, serves him right for all that censorship. Yeah, you know, what's funny is Zuckerberg and all those other motherfuckers, they're all in cahoots. They're all kind of giving away our information, and a lot of these little scandals that pop up are just distractionary, and they're just full of shit. You know, they're just bullshit. This is messed up on my phone. The sounds come out of the bottom, but if I turn it sideways, it comes out the ear speaker, but sounds better sideways. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta fix this audio too, because it's only coming through one channel, and I need to set it to mono, and I can't remember how to do that. So just have to deal with me for a little bit here. Next stream will probably be better. So Indonesia had a pretty good earthquake, which popped off a tsunami, and about almost 400 people are dead. Now, here's the problem. A lot of times after the earthquakes pop off, there is a tsunami warning that goes out. After this particular earthquake, the USGS did not put out a warning saying, hey, and they got buoy data and a bunch of other stuff to give them heads up, let them know. And so for whatever reason, the USGS did not do the report the way they were supposed to. So there's a BP Earthwatch just popped off a video not too long ago, I think it was today, where he said it's because of the budget cuts and things like that that these agencies aren't able to do their jobs correctly. I think there's actually a more nefarious thing. I think they allowed that shit to run through like that to create more news, more scandal, more whatever, because of this bullshit going on with the Supreme Court Justice. This thing is a fucking monkey clusterfuck, and it is just getting ridiculous. This is living proof that America has died, and you know, the concept of innocent until proven guilty is long since dead. We are guilty until proven innocent. This shit that's going on, like, I tried not to really get too deep in it because it's kind of like, really, you know, but from a conspiracy point of view, it's very interesting because there are some groups of people that says, what's his name? Brett Kavanaugh, is that his name? Something like that. That he is very important to QAnon and these other groups to be able to do these military tribunals and a few other things. Why, thank you, Viking. To be able to drain the quote-unquote swamp. Hey, what's up, Jay? And that's, you know, it could be that. It could be that. But yeah, Brett Kavanaugh. Yep. And I know women, I know some women who have used the rape or the unwanted advances to advance their own positioning. And I've seen the reverse. I've seen people in power abuse their power to get what they want from women. And you know, we're all grown-ups here. We've heard of it, seen of it. The casting couch of Hollywood is fucking famous. And this Me Too movement is kind of a mixed bag. On the one hand, you know, oh yeah, I didn't see her being drunk, spread eagle with another chick. I saw her, a picture that was supposed to be of her. I don't even know what she fucking looked like. So I don't even know if that was her or not. But I saw a picture of some drunk chick on a bench or something, naked with bottles around her and shit and beer. And there was a caption that said one of her friends leaked the image. And I'm like, fuck, with friends like that, who needs fucking enemies, right? Vape Easy, I watch a lot of U.S. news from here. It looks like a new trend to me. Yeah. And the other thing that's kind of funny is there's a conspiracy report from X-Anon that says Deep State agent Christine Blasey Ford and her family's deep relationship with the CIA, Kavanaugh accuser, family CIA, black budget ops, Fusion GPS, deep state security ties. Now, it could be. It could be. You know, all I know is there's bullshit on both sides and is really suspect. I watched a little bit of Kavanaugh's testimony, and he looked like a motherfucker that was really perturbed and really irate and pissed off. And some people had issues with that, you know, but I agreed with him from the point of view, like, you know, I'm a pretty well measured individual, but you fuck with my family, that's when I get fucking all kinds of crazy. But you know, I did think that he probably lied about a few things, and I don't blame him for lying. In this, especially in this fucking environment, to be really honest and say, yeah, I felt the bitch up. You know what I mean? I didn't fucking put my hand on her mouth or anything else, and but you know, she was rubbing on my dick and blah blah blah. You know, I mean, I've had some friends that they're fucking around with a girl, fucking girls going down on him, and gets to the point where it's sealing the deal, and then later on she says, oh, she didn't want to have sex. And I'm like, so what part of sucking somebody's dick was giving the message you didn't want to have sex? You know, some of this stuff is pretty fucking stupid. Let's see. Harvey Weinstein should tell you to run for your life anyways. It couldn't be any more clear what the fuck they need, Braille. Harvey would love that. Send picture to you, Facebook Messenger. Oh, okay, cool. Paying these girls, you know, Vape, I agree with that assessment. It was funny to see Feinstein up there asking questions why he didn't call for the FBI and everything, and his rebuttal to that I thought was really good. He's like, the thing was, they would have interviewed us, they would have filled out a particular form, they would have submitted a form to you guys for your review, and then we would have had to sit up and answer questions, and that's what we're doing right now. You know, a lot of this is some Stonewall tactics, some bullshit, and it is very, very telling to me to throw something like this late in the game, and you know, it just looks like there's a lot of bullshit going on. And seeing Feinstein, there's a picture of her looking really mean at some chick, and it's crazy. You know, it is super duper crazy. Corley Roberts, and I'm only 16. Okay, well, sorry if some of this is freaking your ears out. But, you know, it's important also for a 16-year-old to understand there is certain situations girls have to be very careful to not allow themselves to get into, and there are certain situations that guys should not let themselves get into as well. It's funny, I was just telling my kids, you know, in today's age, it's crazy, because when I was a kid, you know, I could have ran down the street butt naked, and that would have been the end of it. Okay? Nowadays, you run on the street butt naked, man, you're on YouTube, you're on all these social networks, it goes viral, and for all practical purposes, your life is over for something that you did when you were young and dumb. So you got to be extra, extra careful now as a young person. You know what I'm saying? You got to be super careful. Let's see, just like the Hillary emails came out so late in that game, seems to be the political way to go these days, waiting to the last minute to make a drop-dead game-changer announcement. Yeah, totally. But, at the end of the day, the stuff with Hillary, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I did see that Kavanaugh Samuel Jackson interview. It was pretty funny. I saw that. It was pretty funny. That was pretty clever what they did there. I saw that one and thought that was funny. That's why I remembered his name was Brent. Yeah, Brett. Look at the brains on Brett. But, you got to be super careful now. And I try to tell this to my kids, and I try to tell this to my nephew before. I try to tell this to some other people. There's this preconceived notion that you can delete something and it's gone. Once it's up on the internet, it's on the internet. It ain't going away. It's up there. Somebody has a copy of it. And if you ever get big enough and they want to use it against you, they will. I like beer. That was pretty funny. I was like, but I mean, at the same time, he made a pretty good point about the beer, blacking out and stuff like that. I had a couple friends in high school that drank a little too much, and it was kind of like, what? They drank a lot, and then they would pass out and stuff like that, or they would get really sloppy drunk and just puke and all this other horribly nasty shit. But, for the most part, it's nowhere near the type of stuff that I see happen when somebody drinks the heavier shit. You drink the heavy shit, you don't need to drink nearly as much. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, alcohol is alcohol, right? Even though beer is substantially lower, you drink enough of it, it will fuck you up. But again, getting back to my point for quarterly, regardless of whatever people think, you have to be super careful. So at 16, even, let's just say you publicly became a fan of this particular show, that could get you in trouble. Just for having a link on a stream to this particular show and some of the stuff that we talk about could get you labeled as a conspiracy theorist. And as a conspiracy theorist, and you try to get into college, for example, they might be like, no, you're not suitable to go to this school, as an example. And so just, if you're going to be on the social shit, just be extra cautious, especially being 16. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about language and stuff like that. If you haven't heard worse, at some point you will. So, anyway. Yeah, Steve, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because, there's shit. They audit your machine and see the comments, and they see emails to me and everything else, and they go, oh, you're friends with the Angry Jackalope. That definitely throws your ass in the fucking conspiracy corner. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. So, some other stuff. AMTV. I actually like AMTV. AMTV reports elite plan for de-dollarization of the U.S. dollar. This is kind of something I've been talking about for a long time. What's up, Jeff? What's up, woof woof? People should have the unalienable right to be conspiracy theorists. Just pick your conspiracy carefully. Well, some of it is discernment. Some of it is you just gotta have to find your evidence. Conspiracies in of themselves are nothing more than just you kind of looking at a hypothesis and following it through and seeing what's what. You know what I mean? Other than that, fuck, it is what it is. Titty sprinkles. What's up, Mr. Morris? Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Yeah, you could fucking say that about anything recreational, You could say sex is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy, etc., etc., etc. You know what I mean? But you know, it. Anyway, so yeah, the AMTV stuff. I've talked before about the possible demise of the dollar and how that plays into Trump and possible alliances with China and Russia. I think once you open your eyes, 90% of the world looks like conspiracy to you. I think realistically, once you open your eyes, you see the disinformation and the lies that they're telling you to label you as a conspiracy theorist. You kind of wear that bitch like a badge of honor. You know what I mean? You'd be like, fucking, call me a fucking conspiracy theorist, you know. Oh, there you go. Keep the Irish from ruling the world. That's why God made whiskey. So, you know, it's, there's a lot of control that's happening in the world. I mean, there's a lot of control and a lot of labeling. And I apologize, guys. It's been a long fucking day for me. But, you know, I look at it like, man, the powers that be have done an amazing job. Amazing job convincing us of horrible things. In fact, if you take the quote that they use about the devil, you know, the greatest lie the devil ever convinced the world he didn't exist or some shit like that. It's kind of like that. You know what? I'm also with you, Jay. I don't believe we landed on the moon either. I don't think we're able to. I think we're prisoners on this planet. I don't think we can get off this bitch, to be honest with you. Unless you accept the planet runs on humans and their quest for power, then conspiracies will continue to just be a theory. Except that the planet runs on humans and their quest for power. That's actually kind of interesting, Mr. Morris. That ties into the whole Matrix things too, because, you know, human beings being batteries and shit like that, and we're just consumers and blah blah blah. There's a lot of very interesting things going on that has made me a bit leery lately. One of the things that I've been doing is making sure my preps are solid. And I hate the word prepper. I hate that. I prefer to call myself a Reliant, member of the Reliant, because I've got guns, I've got bullets, I've got blades, I've got axes, I've got all kinds of shit. But the thing that really gives me peace of mind at the end of the night is water. Because food, you can go for a little bit without food. You can't go very long without water. And a lot of people grew up, and I don't blame them, but they grew up with this thinking that water is always going to be around. And exactly, media made the word prepper look stupid. I agree with that. I agree with that. Steve, I don't give a fuck what anyone knows. What I think or say, morphine is my friend. Nice. Well, yes, Vape, you're right. They are the biggest preppers. Look at all the reserve and everything else, and the mountain bunkers and stuff like they've got. Sure, they like the a prepared mindset for them and their buddies, just not for the rest of us, you know. So I've been putting my stuff together. And, you know, I highly encourage everybody watching this particular stream to do the same thing. Water is not too bad. I bought cases and cases and cases and cases of water. It cost me like $40. I had 55-gallon drums. I finally was able to fill those up, get those prepared. So, you know, for a family of 5, I'm sitting on probably about, I don't know, maybe 210 gallons, which sounds like a lot. If it was just one person, that's great. That's 210 days. But, you know, for a family of 5, I think, you know, we're looking at maybe 45, 50 days or some shit like that. Yeah, that's true, Steve. You're in a really shit position. Um, Without the dialysis and stuff like that, for people that have medical conditions, a grid down situation would basically be um, be a death sentence. Unfortunately, even people that have like certain types of diabetes and stuff, it's only a certain amount of time because the stuff doesn't last very long. Let's see, Rob, Mythbusters discredited, debunked the case against shadows, disproving our landing on the moon. Some people are convinced that even with that, there is no way to break out of Van Allen radiation belt alive. Yeah, not only that, there was a gal down in Australia that discovered our planet is crisscrossed and wrapped around with microwave bands that would basically fry anything living passing through it. So, there you go. Yeah, a gallon a day per person, you'll have surplus. We will, but there's other things you got to take into consideration. You got to maintain your hygiene, so you still got to clean. You still got to brush your teeth, things of that nature. Even rationing out, and any other thing that people don't take into consideration. Everybody knows what I do, so I guarantee you I'd have 5-10 different people show up at the house not doing any of their own preps, desperate for our help. And some of these are like friends of the family, things of that nature. Just, it's a bad situation, and you're better off with a group. But so I try to account for that and get extra just in case. Let's see here. Money is the prime example. Money is what the masses desire. People in power created money, regardless of the era. People in power have used money, i.e. salt, gold, spice, etc., to control the masses. Yep, you're right about that. And then came God. Yep, God organized religion, more specifically. There are deities. There are divine beings. It's just not what they're telling us. Every flood, every hurricane, every earthquake, you see people in lines looking for food and water. Not this guy. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that really kind of drives me nuts, Jay says, a friend of mine is on a list for a kidney. I hope he gets it. A vape easy. Same with my girlfriend. She has autoimmune disease. That fucking sucks. Don't know how to prep for her because it's prescription drug. Yeah, that sucks. I can't get on a list. I got to be cancer free for 5 years. Yeah, that's not easy. I mean, me personally, the way I look at it is like this. There's two ways to look at death. There's the ultra optimistic one where you die and there's something after. Okay, whether it be chapter 2, whether it be the next level, whether it be a different planet, whether it be heaven, whether it be hell, whatever that is. And then the other one is you're just dead. You have no concept of what's happening after you're dead because you're fucking dead, right? So really, at the end of the day, neither one of those is necessarily a bad route. You know what I mean? So, whatever your personal belief is, and if it gives you comfort and it gives you a moral fiber, out fucking standing, right? Just understand we're always lied to. We're always given half-truths. And most of those half-truths are with an agenda in mind. Control. That's what they're always doing. You know what I don't like about this particular dashboard here that OBS does do that this one doesn't do? Like, this doesn't show me a running time. It doesn't show me how long I've been streaming. That could be bad. I have to... 36 minutes. I have to look at a clock. That's fucking crazy. Let's see... best way to go for water is have your own well with solar powered pump. yeah, that would be nice. I've got a bunch of purification stuff. I've got some solar things. I've got this. Hang on, I just got this today. I don't know. I don't know how useful this is going to be, but I wanted to have something in place. Let's see if I can get it in frame here. BioLite kit. I wanted to get something that would help me with my power generation and stuff on a small level for things like my Olight flashlights and things like that to keep them charged, so I could use the moonlight feature on them, so no matter what, I still have some base light. Steve said, I'm not afraid of it. When I walked in the hospital 2013, they said I should have been dead. Exactly. So if you feel like you're on borrowed time, fuck it, right? You're just living life, and fuck, when it comes, it comes. That's why I don't really freak out over all this shit. Like, I could talk freely about all kinds of conspiracy stuff, from super volcanoes to aliens to whatever, and I'm not really tripping because, fuck it. It is what it is. Do what you gotta do to accept death, because even if there is a cure for death, your ass ain't on the list. That's true. That's motherfucking true right there. Viking, I have well water and pump and catadins with spare filters. Yeah, I've got a catadin big purifier. I've got the catadin water bottles. I've got a bunch of live straws, and then I just got the Sawyer setup. So I've got redundancy on redundancy on redundancy, because again, like I keep saying, people say, Rob, you have way too much kit, you have way too much gear. Yeah, for just me and my 5, for a family of 5, sure. But I already know my quasi-adopted daughter and her family, my daughter's best friend, her family will show up. That's another 5 people right there. My son's best friend, his family show up. I think that's another family of 5 right there. Then my wife's best friend and her family, that's another 5 right there. So you start doing the math, that's 15, that's 20, 22, 23, 24. I know about 24 people going to show up, So I got enough kit for them to be useful and have my back and everything else. But it also means I got to play fucking, mother hen and make sure that the most valuable of all things, water, is in abundance. So, I have things like the, what do you call it? It's like a container goes in your bathtub, and you can run the tub, and it gives you about 100 gallons of water. Mr. Morris says, my best prep was knowing my city, making sure my professional life matches my personal for bugging in. Yep. Yeah, Viking says, nice, same family situation. Yep. It'd be much easier if it was just me and the family. That's it. But no, you got to be realistic. And, sometimes you make the hard choices when you have to make the hard choices. But if you've got time ahead, it's kind of like the people with the hurricanes and stuff, right? I know something's going to happen at some point, so I might as well plan now and just, look after those people too. I mean, that's kind of another mindset of a reliant member, is to be able to be that light in the darkness to look after other people, right? I have only solar panels and a small wind turbine to generate power, but a energy Kodiak and some self-build lithium ion packs. Nice. Yep, liner. Then I'm gonna show up, have a drink with you, and die. There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's right, Jeff. You know what I mean? Look, if we were close enough, I'd invite a shit ton of people. What would I do is say, let's put a fund together, make sure the place has enough gear. I might end up doing that with some other people. You know what I mean? My well is great. Kicks out water even if the pump isn't running. Nice, nice. You must have a good ground table nearby you that allows for that. You know, again, I am a big fan of redundancy. Even though you've got that, I wouldn't rely on it. Just because if it gets tainted or if something causes a problem there, you still want to have some kind of a redundancy, some kind of backup. That's why I always try to do at least 2 to 3 layers of redundancy. And when you know it's something super critical like water, I'll go even further than that. You know, I'll go even further. The alcohol, I have so much fucking alcohol. It's exactly. You need a network to fight off the other motherfuckers. See, it's funny. I see that right there on the green chat, but I don't see it on the actual YouTube. That's interesting. That's good. That means that at least a live stream, when people go back and look at it, they can see the actual shit. You know. Harem. Exactly. Yeah, the booze is a lot of reason I got the booze and shit like that is for bartering. That's the main purpose of that shit. And also, I told my kids, I said, if it gets to a situation that is just not survivable, a la super volcano, with 10 feet of hot ash falling down on us, you know, we'll just figure out how to go out as peacefully as possible. You know what I mean? They have a lake about half a mile away and enough water hoses to reach it. Nice. Oh, then have a lake about a half a mile away and enough water hoses to reach it. Yeah, you know, the other thing too is you got to make sure you have ways to treat the water. Don't just drink the water thinking that Mother Nature is gonna, you know, let your stomach rest in peace, because that motherfucker will rape you. When I first moved here to Utah, I was drinking some water from some places. Man, that shit fucked my stomach up so bad. Oh my lord. Yeah, it's a good antiseptic, and it also helps with, you know, the mood. You know, because I know there's a lot of times, you know, you need to antiseptic your brain. Or not antiseptic, you need to, what's the numbing with the word? The word to numb your brain a little bit. You know, sometimes you need to calm that racing mind down. So... you know, yeah, if something happens, I don't want water. Exactly. But it's a tough thing, man. It's a tough thing to talk about with your kids and stuff like that, and give them. But what I try to explain to my kids is, try to explain to them that we go through these negative things and stuff like that, so that you can see the golden lining in your current situation. You know what I mean? I don't actually have the UV light to stop the bacteria. I don't have that. What I do have is, in regards to bacteria specifically, is I've got some of that that silver stuff, the silver spray. I forgot what it's called. Something silver. Oh, so I tip my tongue. And then I also have unfiltered, unprocessed honey, which is also good to treat bacterial situations. And then I've got a ton of stuff for wound treatment and cleaning and stuff like that. And then if all else fails, I've got antibiotics that I got. Colloidal. There you go. That's the word. Thank you very much. Yep, there you go. Viking 65-gallon emergency bathtub water container. Yep. Yep, that's the one. I've got one of those too. Aquapod is the perfect emergency water supply container to have on hand for any emergency such as hurricane, tornado. Yep, they go anywhere from 65 to 100. Let's see, I got dysentery by drinking. Ooh, that sucks. Drinking water. Shit's in It's in the Yucatan Peninsula near Cancun, Mexico. It took 2 weeks before it went away. Yeah, that's, people die from that, man. That is the number one cause of death with the infected water around the world. It's just plain simple diarrhea. You know, people don't know just how devastating diarrhea is to your body. That shit, woof, woof. It's rough, rough. Yeah, it's for the bathtub. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Oh shit. Anybody who's ever had really bad, like what I was talking about when I first came to Utah, we started getting these things. We called it the curse. We were having these sulfuric burps, and then we were like literally pissing out of our ass. That's how bad the diarrhea was. We're talking like 20 to 30 sessions on a toilet. It was so bad that it was just horrible. Just like Steve said, burns. It was like it came out colored at first, and then at the end it was just coming out clear. It was crazy. Let's see. They're calling good, clear, clean water blue gold these days. Yeah, water is the next oil. He who controls the water controls the world. It's funny. I tried to do a desalinization company with green technology and get Al Gore and a bunch of these other fucking yokels in there, and they had no interest. They had no interest at all in helping people. Period. A lot of these big top C-level guys in these companies were like, fuck it, we don't need to work with these guys. We're rich. We got money for days. I'm not worried about my family. So, fuck your dream and fuck, your Kanaloa solution and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, there it is. From the horse's mouth. Let's see. I have so many filters, especially the ones that filter diesel and oil. Oh, nice. And pesticides. Super nice. All the chemical soup that comes during mass floods and urban environments. Yes. That's super duper important. That's awesome, dude. Let's see. Food will be a problem. Nature can hardly support all these hordes. Yeah. Full moon. What's the name of the filter? Don't have that yet. Don't know. Yeah, desalinization units for kayakers, but yeah, they're expensive. I think the cheapest desalinator I saw was about $1,200. So you folks that live by the ocean, if you can actually, but the good news is those desalination units, they will pump a shit ton of water. So that's one of those ones, if you've got a group of friends, you just kind of all chip in a little bit. You know what I mean? You get 10 people, and each one of you, throw a little bit in. Boom. There you go. Throw 120 in a piece. Fuck. You just got to have whoever lives close enough to the ocean. Yeah, exactly. Garen, Al Gore is one of the biggest piece of shits out there. And I have nothing but disdain for that dude. I, saw Inconvenient Truth. I was moved by it. I sat and racked my brain, came up with a viable solution to mitigate the global oceans rising while at the same time bringing water to arid environments. And after putting all of this thoughts together and coming up with a really cool concept, I got a fucking form letter back, and it wasn't like it wasn't put in front of him. I had to exhaust a few of my connections to get it placed directly in his hands, the proposal. And all I got back was a fucking form letter saying, I applaud your effort in trying to make the world a better place, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway. Ocean's right outside my window. Plenty of salt water there. Nice. I just buy the replacement filters and attach tubes to either end to adapt to my Sawyers. Yep. The Sawyers are nice too because they got the point, what is it, .01 micron. size, and they can do up to 100,000 gallons of water. So even if you only have a single Sawyer, as long as you've got that plunge to kind of filter it, clean it out, you could use that shit the rest of your entire fucking life. You know, point oh 0.01. Thank you. Yep. No worries. Netherlands will just pump all the water somewhere else. Yeah, but the problem, Vape, is, a lot of these desalinization, they don't even have a solution for the brine that comes out on the other side. I actually had an economic model with the brine, what to do with that, so you don't dump it back in the ocean, creating an ecosystem nightmare by adding saline levels in the ocean. But fuck, you didn't care about none of that. I even had the thing that sucks. Yeah, yep. So tidal power was built into it. So Garen, I had solar, I had wind, I had wave generators all attached to this thing, because the argument that most people have about desalinators is it requires fossil fuel. And I'm like, no, you don't. You've got a ton of stuff that you could use. And it was crazy, because I even designed these things to be like a snowflake, so that they were aesthetically pleasing to the eye, required very few people to actually manage it. You had to have a crew that would come out and take the byproducts of the brine, bring it on land, so that you could have the salt. You could take that brine and you could use it for different things, from pharmaceuticals to table salt to whatever. You could just take that stuff and use it for other stuff. But yeah, it was just, it's just, they don't give a fuck. That whole thing with Al Gore was to push the carbon tax agenda, so that they could further control us with driving cars and things of that nature, and another form of taxation in the name of the environment. Because every environmental thing that they do nowadays is really just bullshit. It's oh yeah, we got electric cars, motherfucker. We had electric cars in the 90s, but the oil companies killed them. And these lithium ion batteries are more environmentally devastating than any oil-based car could ever hope to be. Let's see. Remember Salvage One with Andy Griffith? Built a rocket in his junkyard, went to the moon, eventually used it to bring an iceberg south to the East Coast. Wolf says, I met Al Gore a few years ago when I was researching intellectual property rights on the internet ecosystem for Microsoft. Yeah, because didn't he claim he invented the internet? Oh my fucking god. That dude's fucking funny. But yeah, it's just frustrating, because I give a shit about the planet. I give a shit about the environment. I actually care. But a lot of these quote-unquote fucking champions for the cause have their own fucking agenda. In fact, I was reaching out to solar companies, tide companies, wind turbines, and was showing them schematics and everything else, breaking it all down. And they're like, why are you sharing all of this possible intellectual property information with us? I said, because I really don't give a fuck who makes it. I'm not trying to make money on this. I want the solution to exist so my kids have a chance in this world. But whatever. Oh, interesting. No, not really, but we have to admit he had a hand in it. Oh, okay, well, that's fine. There's a lot of people that had hands in it. That's like me saying I created the World Wide Web. I sat on the W3C World Wide Web Consortium for quite a few years, living in a Bay Area as a web developer, making recommendations about stuff like cascading style sheets and things of that nature. But I don't walk around telling people I invented the fucking the web, or the web browsers for that matter. I was just one of thousands of voices that were saying, hey, fucking check that out. Welcome aboard, Dennis. Oh, you're my first one on my guinea pig right there. That was the first time I've ever seen that pop off, so that's actually pretty cool. So thanks, appreciate it. Full Moon, do you realize that volcano active right now and iceberg spews 12 to 24 kilotons of carbon dioxide every day? Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Here's a funny thing. Why? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hang on, guys. This timing might actually be perfect. Hang on. Let's see, what is this? This is, I'm actually working right now, so I have to pay attention to these. Okay. These ones are just, more of the same things from earlier. So this is a known issue. Nothing that I have to do anything with. Okay, cool. Had to double check that. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to interrupt. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff. Thank you. It's definitely one I can't ignore. And it's perfect because I have a 15-minute window to respond to any of these situations that pop off. So that audio right there is perfect. I think that people like symbols and gravitate towards assigning credit to a single individual just because it makes it easier for them to comprehend a situation. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, reality doesn't have that much to do with it. You're not lying there. Reality is subjective at best when people are looking back at history and the quote-unquote truth. Yeah, no shit. 24 kilotons. Yeah, and it's funny. Volcanoes. One culprit that a lot of people don't take into consideration is the sun. The sun does some very interesting things with the planet. And there is a definite, intimate dance that the sun and the earth does. And there's a lot of crazy shit that happens that they have yet to give a full explanation on why it happens. So there's a lot of times I'll sit back and go, how does that work, and how does that work, and what about places like the mystery spot, and why does this happen and this happen? Because there's all these anomalies that you find around the planet, and there's theories, but nothing that's concrete to prove it. Just like I love how they're so fucked up to the flat earthers, but the one argument that I've always felt was somewhat compelling was, okay, well, give us really good evidence that the earth is round, that you can prove, show us photos that aren't being doctored by NASA or some other stuff. Like, I'd be very happy if a lot of the space agencies all said, hey, flat earthers, here, fuck off. And they, here's this from the space station, and here's this. And all of a sudden, stalking wolf. Nice. Look at that. You got Deadpool dancing. Some other stuff that just puts that debate to rest, Like, I believe the planet is round. I just think it's fucking massive. I think the bitch is huge. And I think it's like our little section of the earth that we inhabit is kind of like one of the cells of a zoo. You know what I mean? It's just much massive. It's a massive, massive zoo. The planet is a super zoo or a super prison. It's a max slam. Like, we're Australia, but on a planetary level. All right, backwoods. I'll see you guys. I'll see you later. Oh shit, it's actually an hour. I better wind this down here. But yeah, I think there's some crazy shit going on. Anyway, I wanted to end this and put a plea out to you guys to, hug the ones that you love. If you've got a family and they're not hip to the whole conspiracy stuff and everything, just, when you have a spare chance, go buy, some cases of water, tuck them in your closet, tuck them in somewhere, whatever, and just have a good supply of water above all else, because everything else is easy. You need to water, though, so that you can have your base necessity covered for you to use the biggest muscle you have, or actually I should say the best muscle you have, your brain. Give yourself some time to think and plan ahead. All right, guys, I'm going to end it right here. You guys have a lot of choices. You guys come and decide to hang out with me on a fucking Saturday. Makes you guys very fucking awesome indeed. I am humbled and honored that you fucking hang out with me, and it makes my week. I look forward to this all week long, hanging out with you motherfuckers, especially having conversations and things like that. So, you know, thank you very, very much. I appreciate the fuck out of each and every one of you. Let's see the last comments before we go. We are smaller than viruses on the Earth's surface. Hit wrong button, gonna bounce. Oh, okay. There's a real vortexes on Earth, fey places where energies defy laws of ordinary. Yes, exactly. And these things can't be explained away by sunspots and solar flares alone. Exactly. Cheers. What's in store for us on the Rob Ricks channel? Oh, a lot of entertainment stuff. I have lots of stuff to talk about on that one. So that's going to pop off immediately after this one. That's on Robert Ricks. YouTube.com/Robert R. Ricks/live. That's the other show that's going to pop off immediately after this one. All right, guys, that's it for now. If you like it, please subscribe. Tell your friends far and wide. Until next time, motherfuckers, please be good to yourself, good to each other. Go out, live life to the fullest. Ride the bus till the wheels fall off and all that jazz. You know, go have some adventures, get some scars, find some love and all that shit. And I will see you motherfuckers next time. All right, keep your head on a swivel.